Miles's Trucking Adventures. Episode 1. Miles's First Day. The big city of Motorville is like most big cities you've seen. But Motorville has as many vehicles as people. You can see lots of people rushing to work, cars, buses and cabs busy on all the roads between the tall skyscrapers, while the trains roll quickly along their tracks on the bridges. There are also lorries that run on the roads too, delivering cargo from post parcels to giant containers, from farm goods to rocks from the local quarry. There are big trucks and some little lorries. Some are very strong and some are very friendly. In one of the many streets you'll find a big grey building with lots of windows and 2 garage doors on the front. This is the vehicle factory, where spare parts for cars and lorries are made, as well as new ones too. But today wasn't a good day for Mr. Duncan, the factory manager. "What do you mean you haven't even started on that order?" he shouted to another man in a white coat. "Well, you see, sir," said the man. He was Mr. Jepson, the chief engineer. "We've been so busy with business these days, we forgot all about it." "Forgot all about it!" shouted Mr. Duncan. "This is the order for the Roger Freight Company, our biggest customers. Someone's on their way right now to see a new lorry we've built for them, and we've got nothing to show them." "Well, can we show them another lorry?" asked Mr. Jepson. "Another lorry!" shouted Mr. Duncan again. "We don't have another lorry. Except that little one, of course." He then pointed to a corner where a small grey lorry sat. He had 4 wheels, 2 small smokestacks, and wore a small yellow cap. His name was Miles. "Roger's Freight Company wants a big, strong lorry for heavy freight work," continued Mr. Duncan. "Not a pipsqueak that can't even haul his own spare tyre." "Well, sir, unless we can build a lorry in 5 minutes, I don't see what else we can do," replied Mr. Jepson. The loud talk was stopped by Mr. Duncan's assistant coming into the room. "The manager of the Roger Freight Company is here to see you, Mr. Duncan," she said. "I'll make that 5 seconds," replied Mr. Jepson. "Oh, no," said Mr. Duncan worriedly. He then turned to Mr. Jepson furiously. "I'll deal with you later." Then another young woman walked in, wearing a pink blazer, white skirt and red smart shoes. She had brown hair and wore a red hairband. Mr. Duncan knew who she was straight away. "Hello, Sally Rogers. It's nice to see you again." "Pleased to see an old friend of my father's again," the woman said kindly. "Ah, how is the old man?" Mr. Duncan asked. "Oh, didn't you hear?" Sally inquired. "He retired last month. He and Mother live in Spain now to rest." "So he's left the company to you, has he?" asked Mr. Duncan. "Yes," she replied. "Now, where is my new lorry?" Mr. Duncan worriedly looked towards Miles at the back of the factory. "This is Miles, from a lightweight range." "If he was any more lightweight he'd blow away," Mr. Jepson whispered. Sally looked over the grey lorry. "He looks in good order. How many tons can he haul?" she asked. "How much does a spare tyre weigh?" Mr. Jepson joked. "What my friend here means to say is he can handle 10 tons, Mr. Duncan said quickly. "10 tons, eh?" replied Sally. "I really need something a bit stronger." "Oh, please take me, miss," Miles asked. "I've been in this factory for so long now." "Nobody's given you a chance?" Sally asked the little lorry. "No, they think I'm small and weak." Sally thought about this for a moment. Then she turned to Mr. Duncan. "All right, I'll take him," she said. "Half price, of course." "Half price!" shouted Mr. Duncan. "But that's... all right." Soon Sally climbed into Miles's cab, and they drove down the road. Miles was so happy to get an owner at last, and to get jobs to do. Soon they arrived at a yard just outside the city. "Welcome to your new home," Sally said as they drove in. It had 2 yellow buildings, a big blue garage for all the lorries to sleep and rest, and a big repair shop for the lorries too. Everywhere Miles looked he could see more interesting stuff. "Welcome to the Roger Freight Company," said Sally when they stopped and she climbed down from his cab. "It looks wonderful," Miles said excitedly. "Hello, who do we have here?" came a voice. Miles then saw a lorry painted black with a white number 1 on his side, wearing an orange cap, coming towards him. "Miles, meet Rota," said Sally. "He's the chief lorry of this yard." "Wow," Miles said in amazement. "Nice to meet you, Rota." "Nice to meet you too, Miles," said Rota. "Are you the new lorry?" "Yes," replied Miles. "Sally kindly gave me a chance." "And I'm sure you won't let me down," said Sally. Just then a girl walked up to them. She was shorter than Sally, but she did look a bit like her. She was wearing a boiler suit and red trainers. She had red hair and wore a red and white cap. She also had tools in her boiler suit's pockets and had some oil marks on her face. "Hello, sis," she said to Sally. "I guess this is the new lorry. Miles, this is my sister Amy," Sally said, pointing to her. "Amy's your yard mechanic." "So you repair us?" Miles asked. "That's right," replied Amy. "Does he need repairs?" "Not at all," said Sally, "but he could use a new coat of paint." Amy said excitedly, "Miles, follow me, please." And with that Miles and Amy went into the repair shop. Hours later they came out again, but this time Miles had a new coat of red paint and a white number 5. "What do you think, Miles?" asked Amy. "I love it," said Miles excitedly. "Glad to hear it," said Sally. "Now get some sleep, Miles. You start work tomorrow." "Yes, Sally," said Miles. "Come on, Miles," said Rota. "Let's go to the garage." And they both drove into the garage, getting ready for the next day's work.